book lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I am here today with the end of the year book tag of 2018. So this book tag was created by Ariel Bissett, and I will link her original video down in the description so you can check it out if you want to do this tag yourself. I don't know if I was tagged by anybody this year, but I just decided that I was going to do it because right now is the perfect time to get ready for the end of the year when it comes to the reading life. This book tag doesn't have to take place at the very end of the year because it was designed to talk about your end of the year reading goals, and you can start it probably around the time that I'm doing this tag right now. So if you're interested in doing the tag, then you can go ahead with it. And obviously I'm pretty interested in this tag, so without further ado, I'm gonna get started with it. The first prompt is, are there any books that you started at the beginning of this year that you need to finish? And I wouldn't say that I started books at the beginning of this year and didn't finish them, but I did start book series at the beginning of this year, or like start book series prior to this year that I haven't completed yet, and I want to get those ones done. Because usually in G-Swizz fashion on this channel, we do a completed series video at the end of the year. So far, I've completed 15 series this year, so that's not too bad. My goal is to get to 20. And I definitely know that I've started multiple series, but there are 3 series that I just have one book to finish before I've completed them. That is the case for these 3 books right here. The first one being Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. I read the first 2 books kind of like ages ago this year now, and I just need to complete the series and just get it over and done with. The second book of the stack is Blood of a Thousand Stars by Rhoda Belleza. This is the sequel to Empress of a Thousand Skies. I read that book last year, and I just need to complete the duology, and then that's a completed series in itself. It's done. It's over. I just need to kick my butt into gear and just read it. And then the final book that I have to mention in this category is Immortal Reign. This book should have been finished ages ago, but I never got to it, and I need to get to it because I'm 5 books into the series, and I have been 5 books into the series for a very long time, and I just need to get to the 6th one. Prompt number 2 is, do you have an autumnal read to transition into the end of the year? I've mentioned this in my last year's version of this tag. Looking for revenge. I'm from the Southern Hemisphere. It's spring right now. I did mention last year that I would really appreciate it if people made their tag questions a bit more inclusive, but yeah, this tag hasn't changed or updated. So to quit this big grape, fine, I'll do it myself. So I'm personally switching autumnal to spring. Actually, there isn't really anything that I would really consider to be springy except for something that's contemporary or that's light or that's funny. You know, those reads that just really uplift your spirits. Personally, I think I have the perfect book to transition into the season of spring. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I've been meaning to read this book for a year now, and now that Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy is coming out, actually it's probably out by the time that I'm filming this video, I still haven't read this one, and I definitely do want to read Lady's Guide. I just hear nothing but great things about the series so far. I really do want to get to it, and I also pre-ordered Lady's Guide. So that book is making its way to me pretty soon, but I need to make my way to this one pretty soon. Hopefully I can get to this one soon, and I think that this is a great transitional read into such a light and cheery season. Actually, it's not really light and cheery here because magpies. Prompt number 3 for the tag will be, is there still a new release that you're waiting for? As I'm filming this right now, Kingdom of Ash, Archenemies. I did mention in my last year's tag that I was really excited for Renegades, and I wasn't disappointed by that one. So this year, I'm saying Archenemies. There are just a lot of anticipated releases. I made a video about this. Prompt number 4 is, what are 3 books that you want to get to by the end of the year? The first book I have to mention out of the 3 is one that I've needed to read for a very long time, and I don't need to explain it. I'm just gonna put this book down so that I don't have to explain it again. Seriously, I need to read that before Queen of Air and Darkness, or else I don't know what to do with my life. The second book out of the 3 that I'm gonna mention is The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. I do want to read this before King of Scars comes out next year. I might potentially just want to reread Six of Crows as well. As much as I loved that series, I feel like I've forgotten almost everything about it, except for how much I loved the characters, but I don't remember anything about the plot. So I really do want to reread Six of Crows. I definitely want to read The Language of Thorns before going into King of Scars. And the final book out of the 3 that I definitely need to get to by the end of the year will be Nevermoor, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This book is an Australian middle grade novel. I haven't read it. So many people on BookTube from overseas have read it, but this book, being one of our country's biggest successes, hasn't been read by an Australian. I feel pretty ashamed. I had this book signed. Oh, I still have the sticky note in it too. And the reason why I need to get to this one by the end of the year is because Wondersmith, the second book in the series, comes out the day after my birthday this year, which means Jessica Townsend is coming back to Sydney for a book tour. So I feel like I need to read this so that I don't feel that awkward in the signing line when I'm getting my book signed, because I want to talk to her to say, hey, I liked your book. Yeah, pretty much. That's where I'm at. Prompt number 5. Is there a book that could still shock you and become your favorite of the year? And for this one, I could say never say never. At the moment, I am pretty certain my favorite book is probably going to stay there, but like not 100% certain, because the sequel to my favorite book of last year is coming out very soon. And not only that, there is another sequel to one of my favorite book series that is coming out this year, and no, there's literally 3. When I really think about it, the Muse of Nightmares, Kingdom of Ash, and Archenemies all have a chance at becoming my favorite book of the year. But at the moment, my favorite book of the year, being that I haven't read any of those anticipated releases, this book that I'm referring to that I'm not going to mention because I want to keep that a surprise. Obviously, I don't want everybody to know what my favorite book is so they can have, like, you know, the shock factor, the wow factor by the end of the favorite books of the year countdown. This secret book I'm talking about is a first in a series, and a lot of people are going to know what it is. They're going to guess what it is, but hey, gotta keep that shock factor in for the people that don't know. Yeah, I could say never, but at the same time, I'm not really counting on it. I am expecting all of those to be like favorites to some capacity. And the final prompt is prompt number 6, and that is, have you already started making reading plans for 2019? And I would say no, I actually haven't. I mean, I know I have an idea of what I want to do next year. I definitely want to cater to my reading mood more. I potentially want to subscribe to Scribd pretty soon. I don't know whether that's going to happen in 2018 or 2019. One thing that I do have to mention that I definitely don't want to have to shy away from next year is binge reading series. I remember the feeling of absolutely loving to binge read series. I don't know, they just got very addictive. I just want to get to the point where I'm binging series like I'm binging Netflix TV shows. Because as much as I've read a lot this year, I've kind of really enjoyed my TV watching life and my movie watching life, but only sometimes I enjoy my reading life. Like, my reading life has been good, but it hasn't been great this year. There are many other years that I definitely had a better reading life and reading experience, and that's even with reading over 100 books in a year. I do want to get back to the point where I am really enjoying the book series that I am binging. Well, obviously it all comes down to actually picking something up that's just a complete game changer and just hoping for the best when it comes to that. I'm hoping to find just hidden gems again, because as of the moment, majority of the time things are either the same old or they're just predictable. I just want more mind-blowing reads. I'm honestly waiting to find those right books. And this is the struggle of being able to read so much in a year. As much as it is awesome because you get to demolish so much of your to be read pile, a lot of the time not every single one of the books that you read are going to be the greatest books out there. You just crave more of those mind-blowing reads, but you don't really get them. So I am just hoping that I do find more books that are like in my taste. Obviously I haven't made a proper strategy for my 2019 reading life, but I'm just hoping that I find the books that I love and adore and the books that I want to read. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you want to purchase any of the books that I mentioned in this video today, all the Book Depository purchase links will be down in the description, so you can check them out, you can purchase them, and you can help me out by doing so. Oh, and I forgot to tag people. I will probably tag people on Twitter and put names down in the description, so you can also check that out and see if you were tagged to do this tag from me. And I also have social medias. I'm at G-Swizzel Books on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also a Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/G-Swizzel. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.